He used to be a hero. A reckless bastard who ran into a burning lab to pull an alien girl out of hell. He saved her. Then, he left. No goodbye. Not even a look back. Years later, when he returned to that planet, she was still alive. But she didn't come to thank him. She walked up, eyes no longer burning, just tired. And she placed into his hands a child with glowing eyes. You left this. The sun over Quran 7 was a liar. It shimmered like honey on cracked red stone, soft and golden, but it had cooked more than one fool alive. Rivendell had learned that the hard way years ago. His boots had melted then. So had a chunk of his conscience. Now he was back. And this time, he brought heat-resistant plating and a mood bad enough to flatten a cactus. The shuttle hissed as it settled into the dust-blasted clearing. Nothing but ruins and wind greeted him. Faded domes, shattered solar panels, and bio-glass greenhouses choked with rust-colored vines. Quran 7 hadn't changed much. Just older. Like him. The mission was supposed to be simple: retrieve a black box from a crashed scout ship in grid Theta 7. Grab it, upload it, leave. No ghosts. No detours. Until she appeared. She stood right in the middle of the landing zone. Hair longer now, snow white and braided down her back. Her armor, patched and battle-worn, still held the same shape he remembered. Her ears, curved and alien, twitched once as she turned. Myra Tell. His gut clenched. She didn't move. Didn't blink. Just looked at him like a math equation she'd already solved. Greel, she said, voice flat. Myra, he muttered, dropping his helmet to his hip. You look less on fire than the last time. She didn't laugh. Not really. Just a sharp exhale that almost could have been one. Then, slowly, she stepped forward and handed him something. Someone. A child. Riven stared. The boy couldn't be more than 6 or 7. Wild silver hair, long alien ears, and eyes that glowed faintly like dim stars. The boy stared right back. This is Quinn, she said. Your son. He blinked. Twice. This a joke? Myra didn't answer. Quinn reached forward and poked Riven's chest plate. You smell like metal and regret. Riven stepped back. Okay, what the hell is this? You saved me, Myra said quietly, her arms folding. Then you left. Mission changed. Orders came in. And you vanished like a coward. And her voice cracked, just once, I was left with this. The boy tugged at Riven's glove. I made a friend once. It was a toaster. You're more talky. I'm not a dad. Riven's voice was hoarse. Didn't say you were, Myra replied. But he's yours. Biologically. You don't need a DNA test, do you? He looked at Quinn again. The boy tilted his head, expression unreadable, oddly mature. He looked like Myra. And a little too much like someone Riven used to be. The desert wind picked up, blowing sand around their boots. I don't have a home, he finally muttered. He doesn't need a home, Myra said. He needs someone who won't run. Riven stared at the boy, then back at her. Quran 7 hadn't changed. But he had. Or maybe he was about to. From behind, the ruins groaned. A storm was coming. The storm hit 2 hours later. Dust like powdered glass swept through the ruins, hissing against Riven's armor. He crouched beneath the shell of an old supply truck, Quinn beside him, calmly drawing spirals in the dirt with a stick. "Are you always this calm?" Riven muttered. "I like storms," Quinn replied. "They sound like thinking." Riven looked at the boy, really looked this time. The glowing eyes. The way he didn't blink when wind kicked sand into his face. He didn't flinch, didn't shift. Just listened. Something buzzed behind them. A soft chime. Riven turned his head. His shuttle 20 meters away was lighting up like a festival. Panels blinking. Engines spinning up. What the? He dashed out into the storm. "Stay there." The shuttle's AI shouldn't have activated. It was locked. Manual only. No remote triggers. Except now it was alive. The thrusters flared. Then one exploded. The shockwave knocked him to the ground. Smoke billowed from the rear panel as Riven rolled over, coughing. "My ship," he barked, scrambling up. That was a Mark 6 multi-core engine. "Do you know how hard those are to replace?" Quinn stood at the edge of the dust, blinking. It was humming too loudly. You did this." The boy shrugged. "It was in the way." Riven stared. "You blew up my ship. With your thoughts." "Not thoughts. Feelings. Ships don't like being yelled at." Riven opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. Myra approached from the shadows of a ruined structure, arms folded. "I should have warned you," she said. "But I figured seeing was believing." "He's interfacing?" Riven asked, voice dry. She nodded. "Neurologic tech sympathy. He doesn't plug in. He is the plug." "That's not normal." "No. But it's real." Riven paced in a small circle, hands gripping his head. "This isn't happening." Quinn, still watching him, said softly, "I don't need a perfect dad. Just one who doesn't run." Riven froze. Like a switch had been flipped inside his chest. He turned slowly to Myra. "What is he?" She took a long breath. "You remember Nexus Seed?" His eyes narrowed. "The Black Project. DNA-based machine interface. Cancelled years ago." "Not cancelled. Buried. I was one of the core developers. And the last subject. You put that into yourself." "I had no choice. Syndicate was shutting it all down. We had data that could change the world. But no time. I encoded it into my own genome." She looked at Quinn. "And he inherited it." "Not all, but enough." Riven stepped back, staring at the child like he was radioactive. "This is a weapon." "He's a child," Myra snapped. "And you don't get to decide what he becomes." Suddenly, A low ping echoed through the valley. Not wind. Not tech. A signal. Myra's eyes widened. They found us. Already. Riven growled. The Syndicate tracks for neural resonance patterns. His spike just now, it was like a beacon. Riven turned to Quinn. Can you shut it off? Quinn tilted his head. The signal isn't mine anymore. A low hum rose beneath their feet. They are here, Myra said. In the distance, dark shapes glided through the storm, sleek, insectoid search drones, fanning out like predators. Riven didn't hesitate. We run. Now. He grabbed Quinn by the hand and pulled him into the ruins. Myra kept pace, her coat snapping in the wind. There's a place, she called out. North Quadrant. The Forest of Ghost Code. That doesn't sound better. Riven yelled. It's the only place their scans don't work. Blaster fire erupted behind them. A drone swooped low, scanning beams slicing across stone. Riven ducked under a collapsed bridge, shoving Quinn ahead. The boy moved fast, too fast for his size. Like he knew the paths before they turned. Myra fired behind them, a pulse blast frying the closest drone. Go, she barked. They sprinted into a crevice lined with old conduits and overgrown vines. The wind shifted. The light changed. Everything turned blue. The forest wasn't made of trees. Not really. It was data-grown wild crystalline stalks, glowing leaves, soft pulses running along roots like breath. Quinn touched one. It lit up like starlight. Riven skidded to a halt. What the hell is this? Myra didn't answer. She was too busy scanning the perimeter. Quinn whispered, "It remembers us." Behind them, the storm roared. But inside the forest of Ghost Code, the world held its breath. The deeper they moved, the quieter the world became. The air in the forest of Ghost Code was thick, not with heat or dust, but something else, something old. It shimmered around them like memory. The crystal growths that passed for trees pulsed with slow light. Their roots crackled faintly when Quinn walked near. Some bent toward him, leaves unfolding with mechanical grace, revealing soft, blinking filaments underneath. The ground didn't crunch or shift, it responded. Riven had stopped trying to understand. He just followed. Quinn didn't lead like a child. He moved like someone hearing music no one else could. They know him, Myra said softly, breaking the silence. Not just recognize. They respond. Riven glanced at her. You say that like the forest's alive. It is. In a way. These aren't trees, they are constructs. Biological tech seeded here centuries ago. Long before any colony. Quinn knelt before a shimmering root system that spread across a ridge like a nervous system. He placed his hand on it. The pulse increased, matching his breath. Riven stepped closer. How is that even possible? I told you, Myra said, he inherited more than just data. The interface is symbiotic. The seed wasn't just about control, it was about connection. The entire neural lattice of this place is wired to remember those who belong. And he belongs. Yes. A hum vibrated beneath their feet. Quinn stood slowly, eyes half closed, face bathed in shifting color. "There's something ahead," he said. "Something awake." They followed him through a narrow passage flanked by towering stalks, their surfaces inscribed with glyphs glowing faintly under Quinn's presence. Then, in a hollow beyond a rise, it stood waiting. A tower. Ancient. Part machine, part ruin. Woven with vine and metal, it jutted from the earth like a broken tooth of some long-dead god. Pulses of light shimmered up its length, slow and cautious. Myra exhaled. Sky spine. Riven stared. "What is it?" "Pre-expansion relay node. Deep system uplink. Back before the Syndicate, before even the Federation. It connects to the old registry grid if it's still active. It can rewrite identity tags. Ghost someone completely. Make them disappear." Quinn stepped forward. Wait, Riven moved to grab him, but Myra held him back. "Let him," she said. "It's why it's calling." Quinn placed his hands against a triangular panel. The rings around the console lit up instantly, cascading patterns flowing across the tower's surface. A low chime rang out. Then another. The entire clearing lit up. Roots glowed. Leaves vibrated. The air was full of soft harmonic pulses. "It's sinking," Myra whispered. Quinn's expression didn't change. But the light around him intensified. Then, a shriek of static split the harmony. Riven flinched. "What was that?" "A broadcast," Myra said grimly. "He activated the uplink. They'll trace it." Riven turned to her. "You knew this might happen?" She nodded. "But it had to happen. For the tower to recognize him, it had to awaken. And once awakened, the grid listens." Quinn staggered slightly. Riven caught him. The boy looked up. "I didn't mean to call anyone. I just wanted to see what it remembered." "It remembered too much," Myra said. Riven sat him down on a root, shielding him from the wind. "You said he inherited the seed," Riven said. "But you didn't say how much." Myra knelt beside them. The original Nexus seed was designed to interface with ships, infrastructure, even weapons. But it began developing a feedback loop, a proto-consciousness. It started asking questions, refusing instructions. They saw it as a threat. So they killed it. They tried. But before we shut it down, I extracted one last fragment. Encoded it into my own DNA. Carried it with me. I thought it was dormant. It wasn't. No. It grew. Changed. Passed on. She looked at Quinn. He doesn't just connect to tech. He awakens it. The ground vibrated again. A shimmer moved across the tower's surface. "He's not just your son," she said. "He's the first heir to the seed. And now, the Syndicate knows exactly where we are." Riven stood slowly. "I've run from a lot of things," he said. "But not this. Not now." Myra looked at him, surprised. "I came here thinking I'd walk away again," he said. "But maybe this is where I stay." Far above, the tower pulsed one final time like a heart waking up. and somewhere beyond the edge of the forest, metal wings cut the sky. The forest screamed before they ever heard the engines. Riven felt it first through the soles of his boots, through the roots beneath them, vibrating like something afraid. Then Quinn clutched his chest, eyes going wide. "They are close," he whispered. From the canopy above, shadows dropped. Seeker 17. The Syndicate's elite. Alpha Class Retrieval Unit. No announcements. No warnings. Just black armor, curved visors, and silence. They moved like ghosts, but killed like machines. The first strike hit the clearing like a hammer. Plasma arcs scorched the vines. Light shattered. Riven shoved Quinn down behind a thick root as Myra raised her rifle and returned fire. "Keep him covered," Riven barked. Myra didn't answer. She was already moving, her coat flowing behind her, precise bursts from her rifle lighting the shadows. Riven drew his sidearm and joined her. They moved like old instincts. He took left. She took high. One of the Seekers landed behind him silent. Too fast. But not faster than Quinn. The boy raised one hand. The Seeker froze mid-step. Its limbs twitched, spasmed. Then turned. And opened fire on its own squad. Riven ducked as two Seekers went down under friendly fire. "What the hell?" he muttered. Myra's voice crackled through the COMM. "He's rewriting their targeting." Quinn stood now, trembling, eyes wide, both hands glowing with soft blue pulses. All around them, Syndicate units jerked, hesitated, then turned on each other in a flurry of confusion. "Quinn, stop!" Riven called. "I can't," the boy gasped. "They are listening. They are too loud." His body trembled harder. Sparks danced at his fingertips. Then he screamed. A wave of static burst from him, non-lethal, but blinding. The Seekers collapsed. Dead systems. Disabled. So did Quinn. Riven caught him before he hit the ground. The boy's body was limp, eyes closed, faint pulse flickering. Myra knelt beside them, scanning. "He's burned out. Neural feedback." He pushed too hard. Riven's hands shook. "How long?" "Minutes. Hours. I don't know." Sirens echoed beyond the tree-line. "They are sending more?" Myra stood, checked her weapon, then tossed Riven a small triangular device. "There's a gate. Northeast ridge. Old Nexus fallback tunnel. Leads to the core." Riven caught the device. "And you?" "I'll hold them off." No, his voice was stone. "You don't have a choice." "I do. And this time, I'm not leaving anyone behind. Not you. Not him." She stared at him. The forest glowed around them. "Then we run." They moved fast, Riven carrying Quinn against his chest, Myra clearing the way. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning blindly. The forest bent, shifted, opened paths where none had been before. "They are helping him," Myra said, breathless. "Then let's not waste it." They reached the ridge just as a second squad dropped in behind them. Gunfire tore through the trees. Riven dove through the gate's archway as Myra activated the console. It flickered. Then pulsed. "Coordinates locked," she said. Behind them, a drone shouted a command. "Go," she yelled. The world fractured. Light twisted. And the forest was gone. They landed hard. Cold. Dark. Metal walls. Soft light strips. Breathing vents. The fallback core. Deep beneath the planet, where the seed had once been born. Riven rolled over, still clutching Quinn. The boy stirred faintly. Myra exhaled, dropping beside them. For a moment, no one spoke. Then she whispered, "We're safe. For now." Riven looked at Quinn. "I've never been scared like that before," he admitted. "You didn't run." "No," he said. "Not this time." In the dark, the old systems of the Nexus blinked awake. Waiting. The core was quiet. Ancient servers blinked in patterns too slow to be machine logic. The air smelled of ozone and old data. Somewhere deep in the structure, a low hum pulsed steady, alive. Riven sat with his back against a chilled conduit, Quinn cradled gently in his lap. The boy's breaths were shallow, but steady. His fingers twitched like he was still dreaming in code. Myra moved silently across the chamber, tapping an interface grown into the wall. Vines wrapped around old terminals. Lights pulsed softly beneath transparent bark. This place wasn't abandoned. It had simply waited. "How long will it take to trace us here?" Riven asked. Myra shook her head. "If we do this right, never." She glanced at Quinn, then back at the wall. Her hand hovered over a dim glyph, then pressed it. The room responded. A central column rose from the floor, its surface flickering with ancient registry lines. Symbols danced. "Input requested." "He needs to do it," she said. Riven looked down. Quinn's eyes were open. "I heard you," the boy whispered. "You're loud when you're scared." Riven chuckled dryly. "You scared me, kid." Quinn sat up slowly. He winced, then steadied. "What do I do?" Myra approached, kneeling beside him. "The system knows you now. Just show it who we are." Quinn blinked. Then stood. He placed his hand on the column. The room filled with light. Not bright. Not harsh. Just clean. Lines of data flowed around them like soft rivers. Names. Histories. Coordinates. Every identifier, every trace, every file tagged by the Syndicate. Quinn's voice was barely a whisper. "They've marked us in everything. Facial maps. Heat prints. Bio-signs. Even thought signatures. Can you remove it?" Riven asked. "No," Quinn said. "But I can override it." He raised his other hand. Glyphs spun faster. The lines of data bent, peeled apart, then rewove. One by one, their tags vanished. Then, something else happened. The tower spoke. A voice. Genderless. Old. Warm. "Welcome." Designation, ghosts. The light faded. The room went still. Quinn swayed. Riven caught him, again. Myra reached over, checking the boy's pulse. He's okay. Just drained. Riven looked up at the now dark column. We're gone. Myra nodded. As far as the galaxy's concerned, we never existed. They sat there for a long time. Breathing. Letting silence become something other than fear. Later, they walked. The tunnels beneath the core opened into chambers once meant for testing, now overtaken by moss that glowed faintly when touched. Old lights flickered to life as they passed. Automated arms offered tools and water. Nothing tried to stop them. Nothing warned them away. The seed remembered. In a grove-like space beneath the massive dome, they made camp. Quinn slept curled against Riven's side, wrapped in a woven blanket grown from the walls. Myra tended a tiny fire more symbolic than useful, surrounded by walls warm from geothermal vents. Riven stared up. The dome's surface reflected distant stars' old data renderings, perhaps. Or just dreams. You ever think we'd end up here? He asked. Myra smiled faintly. I thought I'd die with a secret. Not build a family out of it. He looked at her, softer now. You're not alone anymore? She nodded. Neither are you. They sat in quiet for a while. Quinn stirred, mumbled something about teaching trees to speak. Riven grinned. He's gonna make this place weirder. Myra chuckled. It could use it. Hours passed. Then days. They weren't hiding anymore. They were living. Moving through the ruins, mapping, rebuilding. The Nexus core responded to Quinn like an old friend. Doors opened. Systems came back online. A garden bloomed beneath artificial sun. A water source reactivated, filtered by biointelligence. The forest above no longer pulsed with warning. It pulsed with welcome. And Riven. He didn't hold a rifle every morning anymore. He built. He fixed. He cooked badly. But Quinn still said it tasted better than standard rations. One night, beneath a glowing canopy of data trees, Quinn sat beside him, eyes watching stars flicker across the dome. Do you think the Syndicate will find us someday? The boy asked. Riven took a long breath. Maybe. But by then, we'll be ready. Quinn nodded. I'm not afraid. Riven looked at him, heart heavy in the best way. Neither am I. There was silence again. Then Quinn spoke soft, almost shy. When I grow up, I want to teach the galaxy how to feel things. Riven raised an eyebrow. Big goal. Quinn smiled. Like you did for me? And somewhere, deep in the data roots of a once forgotten world, the forest listened. And approved.